Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the wisdom that has the power to change lives. Today, we're diving into a topic that holds immense value, especially in today's fast-paced world: the 8 Stoic keys to outsmart everybody else. I'm thrilled to have you here because what we're about to cover isn't just some surface-level advice. This is the kind of knowledge that, when applied, can transform the way you handle life's challenges, bringing you a sense of calm, confidence, and clarity that others only dream of. Think about it. How often do you find yourself feeling overwhelmed? Maybe it's the pressure to keep up with work demands, family responsibilities, or just the constant noise from social media and the world around you. It can feel like life is pulling you in 100 different directions, with barely any room to breathe. But what if I told you that there's a way to stay grounded, even when everything around you seems chaotic? The answer lies in these timeless Stoic principles, keys that will not only help you navigate life's storms, but will also allow you to outsmart the challenges you face. This isn't about being cleverer than others or playing mind games. It's about mastering your own mind, tapping into a resilience that can't be shaken by external circumstances. These keys are what will set you apart, helping you stand strong when others crumble under pressure. Now I want you to imagine a life where you don't just survive the daily grind, but actually thrive, where you handle setbacks with grace, maintain focus despite distractions, and build relationships rooted in genuine respect and understanding. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not. It's a reality that the Stoics have taught us, and today you're going to learn how to implement it. As we go through these Stoic keys, I want you to keep in mind that this is a journey. There's no pressure to be perfect. It's about progress, about taking these principles and applying them in ways that resonate with your life. Trust me, by the time we're done, you'll not only have a clearer path forward, but you'll feel empowered to approach life with a strength that's unshakable. But before we dive in, I'd love for you to take a moment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. By doing so, you'll be joining a community of like-minded people who are committed to living with purpose, clarity, and resilience. Hit that like button if this message resonates with you so far, and be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us continue creating content that inspires and empowers. Together, we're unlocking the power of Stoicism. So let's get started. Key 1. Master the art of silence. Welcome back, my friends. Today, we're diving into a concept that can change everything for you. In a world that seems to demand constant noise, opinions, and reactions, there's one overlooked tool that can give you control, clarity, and strength: silence. Now, I know this might sound counterintuitive, especially in a culture that rewards being outspoken and loud. But mastering the art of saying less is one of the most powerful things you can do, not just for your peace of mind, but for how you navigate life itself. Let's get real for a second. How often have you felt overwhelmed by the need to react immediately, whether it's in a conversation, an argument, or even online? That impulse to defend yourself, prove a point, or explain your side can feel almost impossible to resist. But here's the truth. When you react without thought, you give away your power. You become trapped in the chaos of the moment, driven by emotion rather than intention. Silence, however, gives you space. It allows you to pause, reflect, and respond with clarity. Think about the last time you held back from speaking when you were angry or frustrated. That moment of silence gave you control, didn't it? By not engaging impulsively, you maintained the upper hand. You see, silence is more than just a lack of words. It's a strategy. It's about mastering yourself, and in doing so, mastering the situation. Imagine how this principle could shift your daily life. Fewer conflicts, fewer misunderstandings, more time to think about what really matters. You gain the ability to listen, not just to others, but to your own inner voice. That's powerful. Instead of reacting to every criticism or comment, you'll learn to pick your battles wisely. And when you do speak, your words will carry more weight because they're thoughtful, deliberate, and backed by your silence. That's what people will remember. the confidence in your restraint. Let's talk about relationships for a second. How many arguments could have been avoided if you'd taken a moment of silence to think before speaking? Silence can be a tool that deepens your relationships. When you pause and listen, you give others the space to express themselves, and they, in turn, feel heard and understood. That's how trust and respect are built. Your silence isn't avoidance, it's strength. It's knowing when to hold back and when to speak with intention. And here's the thing. Silence doesn't mean passivity. Far from it. Silence is a choice. It's an act of control, of self-mastery. When you choose silence, you're choosing to stay in control of your emotions, your reactions, and ultimately, your life. You're saying, I'm not letting this moment dictate how I feel or what I say. That's where the real power lies. Now, what will this look like for you? How will your life change once you start embracing the power of silence? Picture this: less stress, fewer regrets, and more peace. You'll find that you're not constantly drained by unnecessary arguments or conflicts. You'll begin to see the bigger picture, what truly matters, and let go of the rest. Silence gives you space to focus on what moves you forward instead of what holds you back. Let me share with you a hard lesson I learned, one that changed the way I see communication forever. I was fresh into a new leadership role at work, and one day we had this incredibly tense meeting with our biggest client. They were frustrated, I was anxious, and all eyes were on me to give the perfect response. In that moment, everything inside me screamed to defend myself, to explain, to justify every little mistake. I wanted to jump in and fix things right there with words, but something held me back. Instead of speaking, I chose silence. I took a deep breath and let the client finish. I didn't rush in to fix or argue. I simply listened. And as I listened, something shifted. The client, at first furious, slowly began to unravel their real concerns. By staying silent, I gave them the space to express themselves fully. Instead of escalating, the tension in the room softened. When I finally spoke, I wasn't reacting, I was responding with clarity, calm, and understanding. That silence gave me power. I had the control, and that's when I realized the strength of saying less. It wasn't about avoiding conflict or retreating into myself. It was about choosing my words carefully, making sure that when I spoke, it truly mattered. After that meeting, not only did we retain the client, but the relationship grew stronger. They respected me more for not rushing into a defensive stance. Silence showed confidence. Silence allowed space for real understanding. This experience changed how I approached not only meetings but life in general. I realized that silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a tool, a space to gather your thoughts, to ground yourself in the midst of chaos, and to respond with purpose rather than react impulsively. In a world that constantly pushes us to speak up, to be louder, to assert ourselves, choosing silence can feel like swimming against the current. But it's in that silence that you find clarity. It's where you separate your emotions from your actions, where you choose intention over impulse. And that's what true power is: control over yourself. Since that day, I've made silence a part of my practice. I don't need to respond to every provocation or engage in every argument. I don't need to prove myself with words. Instead, I choose when to speak, and, more importantly, when to stay silent. And the impact has been profound. Less stress, fewer unnecessary conflicts, and a deeper sense of control over my life. Now I challenge you to try this for yourself. The next time you feel the urge to jump into a conversation, to defend your point, or to fill the silence, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself if speaking will truly add value, or if silence might give you more power in that moment. You'll be surprised at how much more you can achieve by saying less. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of wisdom. Are you ready to embrace this quiet strength? Start today. Practice silence in your conversations, in your conflicts, and in your moments of stress. And watch as your life begins to shift. how people start to listen more closely when you speak, how your relationships deepen, and how you navigate challenges with a calm, unshakable confidence. This is your journey, and it starts with one simple decision: to say less and let your silence speak volumes. If this resonates with you, if you're ready to harness the power of silence and see how it can transform your life, join me on this journey. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Together we can build a community that values clarity, peace, and the quiet strength that comes from within. The power of silence is yours. Embrace it. Start today. Key 2. The power of discretion. Let me take you deeper into something I've come to understand through hard-earned experience: the power of discretion. In a world that constantly pushes us to share everything, from our achievements to our struggles, there's something profoundly freeing about holding back, about protecting your inner world. And no, this isn't about keeping secrets or being mysterious for the sake of it. It's about understanding that not everything deserves to be exposed to the scrutiny, opinions, or judgments of others. I've learned firsthand that the more I've shared my plans, the more I've opened the door to doubt. Whether it's the well-meaning advice of friends or the casual remarks that stick with you for longer than they should, sharing too early can dilute your vision. I've been there, thinking that talking about my goals would keep me accountable, but all it really did was invite voices that distracted me from my true purpose. The Stoics had this figured out long before modern social media came into the picture. They understood that silence isn't just a passive act, it's a powerful choice. When you keep your dreams and struggles to yourself, you're not hiding. You're preserving the energy and focus needed to nurture those ideas. You're giving them time to grow strong before letting the world in. Think about how many times you've shared an idea only to find that someone's feedback derailed your confidence. Or maybe you've opened up about a challenge you're facing, and instead of feeling supported, you walked away feeling burdened by other people's opinions. That's why discretion matters. By keeping certain things close, you give yourself the freedom to grow without external pressure. Discretion doesn't mean isolation. It's about being intentional, understanding when to speak and when to stay silent. When you learn to discern who gets to see certain parts of your life, you build a fortress around your inner world. And in that fortress, your creativity, your goals, your deepest aspirations are protected. The truth is, some of your most important growth happens in the quiet moments. Not everything needs to be shouted from the rooftops. By allowing yourself that space, you'll find that your decisions become clearer, your actions more deliberate, and your sense of self stronger. So here's the challenge I leave with you. The next time you feel the urge to share a goal or a personal struggle, take a breath. Ask yourself, is this the right time? Will sharing this help me, or am I looking for validation? If it's the latter, hold on to it. Nurture it in the quiet. Focus on your path without letting other voices cloud your mind. There's strength in silence. There's power in discretion. Protect your inner world and let your actions do the talking when the time is right. By embracing this practice, you'll not only sharpen your focus, but you'll also cultivate a life that's driven by your values, not the noise of others. This is your journey. Take control of it. Key 3. Humility in action. Let me talk to you about something that, for me, has been transformative, not just in how I approach success, but in how I find true contentment along the way. Humility. It's such a simple concept, yet it can be incredibly powerful when fully embraced. Here's the thing. We live in a world that craves recognition. Everything, from social media to the workplace, seems to push us toward constantly showcasing our achievements, as if their worth depends on the validation of others. But here's the truth. True success doesn't need validation, and it doesn't need applause. It stands strong on its own because it's built on the foundation of real effort and authenticity. You see, humility is not about downplaying your accomplishments or pretending that your efforts don't matter. Quite the opposite. It's about having such deep confidence in yourself that you don't need the external world to acknowledge it. Imagine the quiet power in that. When you allow your actions to speak for themselves, without the need for constant praise, you're telling the world that your value isn't tied to anyone else's opinion. That's rare and it's deeply respected. Think back to a moment in your life when you achieved something important. Was the real joy in the applause you received, or was it in knowing that you gave it everything you had? For me, it's always been the latter. Those quiet victories, the ones where no one else even knows how hard you worked or how much you sacrificed, they're the ones that matter most. They're the ones that shape who you are. And here's the beautiful part about living with humility. When you stop seeking validation, you start living for yourself. You become more focused on your own growth, your own journey, and less on what others think. In doing so, you free yourself from comparison, from the need to prove anything to anyone. You become self-reliant, driven by your own standards, and that kind of inner strength, it's unshakable. Now I know that's easier said than done. We all want to feel appreciated, and sometimes it's hard not to share our wins with the world. But here's my challenge to you. The next time you reach a goal, take a moment to reflect. Don't immediately post about it or tell everyone. Sit with it. Savor it. Let the satisfaction of knowing you did something great for you sink in, and then quietly move on to your next challenge. That's where true growth happens. When you stop seeking validation, you open up endless possibilities for what you can achieve. You're no longer bound by the need to please others or meet their expectations. You're free to grow without limits. So I challenge you, stop looking for approval. Trust that your journey, your effort, and your success are enough, even if no one else sees it. You are enough. And once you start living with that mindset, everything will change. You'll see that humility is not just a virtue. It's the key to unlocking a life that's deeply fulfilling and uniquely yours. Key 4. Strategic silence. Let me be real with you for a moment. There's a certain power in keeping your plans to yourself. In a world that constantly pushes us to share every move, every goal, and every dream, the idea of holding back might seem counterintuitive, but the truth is there's immense strength in strategic silence. Think about it. How many times have you excitedly shared a plan or a goal, only to be hit with someone else's doubts or unsolicited advice? It can throw you off track, plant seeds of doubt, or even shift your focus to pleasing others instead of staying true to your mission. This isn't about secrecy for the sake of it. It's about protecting your energy, your goals, and your focus. When you keep your next steps to yourself, you eliminate the noise. You're no longer performing for an audience, seeking approval, or opening yourself up to the distractions of outside opinions. Instead, you create a space where your thoughts, your actions, and your growth are fully under your control. You get to nurture your dreams quietly, allowing them to take root and grow strong before the world even knows what you're up to. Let's get practical. Think back to a time when you shared a plan too early. Did someone's reaction cause you to second-guess yourself? Or worse, did their lack of enthusiasm make you feel like your idea wasn't worth pursuing? That's the risk. When you let the world in too soon, you invite all of their opinions, judgments, and doubts into your process. But when you practice strategic silence, you're not influenced by anyone else's agenda. You stay laser-focused on what you need to do, at your own pace, on your own terms. By keeping your plans close, you maintain control over your narrative. You're no longer driven by the need to explain yourself or gain approval. Instead, you're guided by your own internal compass, and that's powerful. When you stay silent about your moves, you create a sense of momentum that no one can derail. Your work becomes about you, not about how others perceive you. And when the time is right, your results will speak for themselves without you ever needing to say a word. The next time you feel the urge to share a big plan, pause. Ask yourself, is this the right time to speak? Or should I keep this to myself for now? Hold on to your focus, protect your energy, and let your work grow in the quiet. When you finally unveil it to the world, it will be undeniable. Not because you shouted about it, but because your actions, your success will speak louder than words ever could. If this resonates with you, reflect on how you can apply this mindset to your next move. And if you're ready to embrace this kind of quiet strength, hit that subscribe button, join our community, and let's keep moving forward with purpose and focus. Together, we're cultivating a different kind of power, the kind that doesn't need to be broadcasted to be felt. Key 5. Rise above gossip. Let's be real. Gossip is everywhere. It's on social media, in the break room, at family gatherings, and even among friends. It's tempting, and at times, it can even feel like bonding. But let's pause for a second. What is gossip really doing for you? I want to share with you something powerful that I've come to realize. Gossip does nothing to move you forward. It keeps you stuck in the same space, focused on other people's lives, rather than on your own growth. And trust me, when you focus inward, when you rise above the noise, you step into a whole new level of personal strength. Here's the truth. Every moment spent indulging in gossip is a moment wasted, a moment you could have spent improving yourself, working on your goals, or building something meaningful in your own life. Think about it. How much more could you accomplish if you redirected that energy? Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." And that's the heart of it. Instead of talking about someone else's flaws, how about working on becoming the best version of yourself? When you make the conscious choice to rise above gossip, something incredible happens. You stop engaging in the negative conversations that only drain you, and instead, you focus on what really matters: your own path, your own progress, your own fulfillment. And you know what else? People start to notice. You become the person who isn't wrapped up in drama, the one who stays focused, disciplined, and above all, trustworthy. That's real strength, and it's magnetic. Think about the impact this will have not just on you, but on your relationships, your career, and your mindset. The more you distance yourself from toxic conversations, the more you'll find that your relationships grow stronger and more meaningful. You'll be surrounded by people who respect your focus and are just as committed to their own self-improvement. It's contagious. You'll attract positive, like-minded individuals who inspire and challenge you to grow. Here's what I challenge you to do. The next time you're pulled into a conversation that starts heading down the road of gossip, stop. Take a breath and ask yourself, what am I gaining from this? Is this helping me grow or move forward? Instead, shift the conversation, or even better, redirect that energy towards something productive. Learn a new skill. Reflect on your goals. Practice gratitude. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that lifts you up, not something that holds you back. The choice to rise above gossip is powerful. It's an intentional act of discipline and self-respect. And I encourage you to start today. Let's commit to focusing on what matters: our own growth, our own path, and how we can inspire others by being our best selves. Key 6. The quiet power of kindness. Let's talk about something we often overlook: the quiet, unspoken power of kindness. In today's world, where everyone seems eager to broadcast their every move for validation and approval, there's a certain strength in doing good without expecting recognition. And honestly, it's rare. It's not about keeping score or waiting for applause. It's about living in a way that aligns with your deepest values, offering kindness simply because you believe it's the right thing to do. Imagine a world where your actions don't need to be seen to be meaningful. That's the kind of life Stoicism invites us to embrace, one where we give from a place of genuine care, not for what we might get in return, but because it strengthens who we are. This is what makes kindness so powerful. It's not about proving something to the world, but about building a deeper sense of character and purpose within yourself. I've come to understand that the true essence of kindness isn't something that needs to be announced or shared for others to applaud. The real value lies in the act itself. When you help someone, whether it's assisting a friend in need, offering support to a colleague, or simply being there for a stranger. You don't need to shout about it. The reward is already built into the gesture. It's in that quiet knowledge that you've contributed something positive, no matter how small. But here's where it gets even deeper. Practicing kindness in silence shapes not only the lives of those you help, but your own life in ways you might not immediately realize. When you stop waiting for approval, you start doing things that are truly meaningful to you. The desire to prove yourself fades, and what takes its place is a deeper fulfillment, one that comes from knowing your actions are a reflection of the person you strive to be. The beauty of this approach is that over time, it builds an inner strength and confidence that doesn't need external validation. You start to recognize that your value isn't tied to what others see or how they respond to your actions. It's tied to how you choose to live your life, quietly, with purpose, and in alignment with what you know to be right. And that's something no amount of likes, shares, or accolades can replace. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you feel the urge to announce a good deed, pause. Hold back. Let your actions speak without needing to voice them. Notice how it shifts your mindset, how it deepens your sense of purpose, and how it impacts the way you see yourself. Kindness, when done in silence, has a way of creating ripples far beyond what you can imagine. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to make unspoken kindness a part of your daily life. And if you're ready to explore this deeper path of living, subscribe, share this message, and let's walk this journey together. Because in a world that's often loud and chaotic, it's the quiet strength that truly makes a difference. And remember, true kindness doesn't need an audience, it just needs you. Key 7. Guard your weaknesses. Guarding your weaknesses is one of the most vital yet often overlooked principles of Stoic philosophy. It's not about denial or acting as if you don't have flaws. On the contrary, it's about being acutely aware of your vulnerabilities but choosing to strengthen them quietly, in a way that keeps you in control of your narrative. In today's hyper-connected world, it's tempting to share everything, our struggles, our insecurities. But when you broadcast your weaknesses to the world, you invite scrutiny, judgment, and sometimes manipulation. Picture this. Your weaknesses are like cracks in a fortress wall. If you expose those cracks to everyone, especially before you've had the chance to repair them, they become easy targets. But if you recognize where those vulnerabilities are and work to fortify them behind the scenes, you remain protected. You're still human, but you're also less likely to be taken down by what once left you vulnerable. And the beautiful part is, no one else needs to know you were ever vulnerable in the first place. This approach to guarding your weaknesses requires a deep sense of self-awareness. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Where do you tend to stumble? Is it in moments of anger, fear of failure, difficulty in maintaining discipline? Once you've identified these areas, the key is to start working on them, whether through personal growth, seeking advice from trusted people, or learning new techniques to manage your emotions. But you do it in silence, without the need to announce your journey of transformation. Let me break this down a little further. When you strengthen your weaknesses quietly, you're not pretending that you're invincible. You're simply choosing to control the narrative. You're giving yourself the space to grow without external pressure or interference. This is a subtle yet profound form of self-mastery. It's about developing resilience in a way that doesn't seek validation or acknowledgement from others. And that's where real power comes from, its inner strength, not outward bravado. The transformation that happens when you guard your weaknesses is deeply personal, but its effects are visible to everyone around you. You become more composed, less reactive, and more grounded in the face of adversity. You'll find that challenges that used to throw you off balance now feel manageable because you've done the work to strengthen yourself where it counts, internally. People will notice your calm, your confidence, but they won't know where it's coming from. And that's the beauty of it. Your strength is quietly cultivated, built from the inside out. So what's the takeaway? I challenge you to think about your own vulnerabilities. Instead of broadcasting them or letting them control you, choose to work on them in silence. Take back the power to define your own growth. And remember, the most profound transformations happen when no one is watching. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to reflect on the areas of your life where you can quietly build strength. And if you're ready to take that next step in your journey, subscribe, join the conversation, and let's continue building a life of quiet resilience together. Key 8. The value of solitude. Let me share with you the quiet yet profound lesson behind nurturing your dreams in solitude. In today's world, it feels almost second nature to announce our ambitions, broadcast our goals, and seek instant validation from others. But the truth is, there's a remarkable strength and clarity that comes from holding your dreams close, allowing them to grow in silence, away from the distractions, opinions, and pressures that often come when we share too soon. When you think about it, revealing your goals early often invites judgment or advice that, while well-meaning, can cloud your vision or sow seeds of doubt. The more external voices you allow into your process, the easier it is to lose sight of your true path. That's why the Stoics, with their timeless wisdom, emphasize the importance of nurturing dreams privately. They knew that by doing so, you protect them, like a small flame that if exposed too soon could easily be blown out. But when guarded, that flame becomes stronger, steadier, and can eventually light up the whole room. Take a moment to reflect on how many times you've shared an idea or a goal with someone, only to walk away feeling less confident. Maybe they didn't see the vision the way you did, or perhaps their reaction was lukewarm. Either way, it chipped away at the passion you initially felt. Now imagine what could have happened if you kept that idea to yourself, quietly working on it, letting it evolve until it was ready to be revealed on your terms. This is the power of solitude when it comes to our dreams. It gives you the space to refine, develop, and adjust without the distraction of outside opinions. It builds resilience and inner confidence because you're no longer relying on the approval or validation of others. Your journey becomes yours again, and you gain the freedom to focus solely on the execution, the growth, and the eventual success. When you nurture your dreams in silence, you're not hiding. You're simply giving them the room they need to grow. It's an act of self-discipline, of deep focus. And when the time comes to finally reveal what you've been working on, it won't need an introduction. Your achievements will speak for themselves, backed by the quiet confidence you built along the way. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one dream, one goal you've been thinking about. Instead of sharing it with the world, commit to working on it privately. Let it grow in silence. Take the necessary steps without feeling the need to announce them. Trust that when the time is right, you'll know when to share. And when you do, the impact will be undeniable because it will have been nurtured with intention, care, and focus. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to reflect on your own process. How can you protect your next big dream? Let's take this journey together. Subscribe, share your thoughts, and let's continue building a life of quiet strength and purposeful action. Your journey, after all, is yours to define. Let it unfold in the way that's true to you. So here we are at the end of this journey. What have you taken away from it? Through these timeless Stoic principles, we've explored the power of silence, the strength of humility, the wisdom of discretion, and the quiet resilience that comes from guarding your inner world. But here's the real question. How will you apply what you've learned? Think about it. How will you let these insights shape the way you navigate your everyday life? Will you embrace silence as a tool for clarity and peace? Will you stop seeking validation from others and start trusting yourself more deeply? These aren't just abstract ideas. They are practices that can transform your relationships, sharpen your focus, and strengthen your sense of purpose. This is where the challenge begins. It's time to commit to change, to act with intention, and to embody the lessons you've learned. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Protect your goals and dreams by nurturing them quietly, away from the noise of the world. Focus on your growth, not on comparing yourself to others. And above all, remember that true strength is built in the moments when no one is watching. As you move forward, Take these principles and let them guide your choices. Whether it's in how you handle conflict, how you pursue your dreams, or how you choose to help others, do it with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth doesn't need to be announced. Let your success, your growth, and your kindness shine on their own. Now I challenge you to take these lessons and live them. Don't just let them be concepts you nod along to. Make them real in your daily life. Start today. Take that next step toward a more focused, resilient, and purpose-driven life. And if this resonates with you, I encourage you to subscribe, share this journey with others, and commit to the path of growth together. This is your moment. Make it count.